Alrighty, how's everybody doing? Give me a second here. Hold on 1 second. All right, cool. I got everything set up. Sorry, I was in the middle of trying to get one of my miners up and running. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Let's dive into it. Hold on, these stupid dogs, man. These stupid dogs. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. All righty. And all right, there we go. We're all set up. Sorry. So how is everybody doing? It is a new week. We've got some really good price action so far. And like I always like to do, jump into the news. If you've already jumped into this, you'll see that there's absolutely nothing really this week. Actually, hold on. Let me 1 sec. There we go. Let me log in, because I see a lot of yellow folders and I really don't care about yellow folders. There we go. Hold on. Where am I at? Oh, calendar. There we go. All righty. So you could see starting off the week, really not a lot. We had some really nice words of wisdom from our federal chairman, Jerome Powell there. Old Jay Powell really didn't give much to offer to our economy today. If you haven't read it or listened to the excerpt from it, I definitely would dive into it. It was pretty comical. Not if you're an American and really care about our economy, but just from a standpoint of what the World Bank of the United States is going to try and do. Going further into Wednesday, we got some CPI data that's definitely going to move some U.S. indices. Other than U.S. crude oils, we're not going to see much going on with that, but that's definitely going to move some of the Canadian pairs. And then lastly, rounding out Thursday, just some PPI data and core retail sales. So we're going to get a little bit of movement on the US dollar, nothing crazy, nothing that I'm going to be really kind of focusing in on and trying to line up with like an entry based off of some news events. Let's see. Bear with me. I know it's offline. Shush. Alrighty. Can you explain structure, legs, and order flow? Oh, yes. I'll be honest. It's for me to explain structure, legs, and order flow. I'll go through it on the charts and stuff, but it's not something that I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, especially some of you guys on the call, it's not something that you're going to really get a great understanding in a 15, 20 minute little excerpt. So, but I'll try to narrow it out, try to give you some words of wisdom and some advice on it. I can tell you that, and I've said this before many times, that typically when I take a loss on a trade, and if it's one of those where like every check mark wasn't done, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, it's just the market won today. It is what it is. If I'm wrong in determining my entry or my type of management of the trade or something to that effect, it's typically always because I got structure or order flow wrong, and it happens. There's sometimes where you can do all the preparation you want, and you're going to come up with that loss. You're going to make that mistake. You're going to make that error. For me, the key is identifying the error and making sure I don't make that mistake again. But yeah, really, really weak news week for us this week. We're not going to get a lot of movement. All right. Diving into TradingView, let's get into the charts. So this morning, I was looking at some stuff. I had some prior engagements. I had a doctor's appointment I had to go to, so I really didn't get to dive into too much. But it really didn't offer me any kind of entries. So let's dive into it. Real quick, I was looking at some crypto, and if you listen to any of the financial market talk shows or anything, the death of crypto, the bear market is here. And I really laugh because most of us have been saying since the middle of the summer that we're going to come back to 32,000. And it surely looks like it, just from a market cycle perspective. We've got what is maintaining the structure high, and just looking at the accumulation, the reaccumulation into a distribution, into a redistro. It would make sense. We're going to see an accumulation here. So, do I not use reaccumulations and redistributions as higher highs or higher lows? So no. A reaccumulation or redistribution is a continuation move. It can't hold structure. So, point in case like this reaccumulation here, does this reaccumulation break this high? Because if it doesn't break this high, this is the only thing I care about. right? So if it doesn't break that high, then it can't hold structure. So this is what's maintaining my structure point. This is just the continuation move. So hopefully that makes sense. In a market cycle perspective, right? You have your accumulation into a reaccumulation into a distribution. You've got your completed market cycle. And then price can either come back into a demand area in the reaccumulation, or it can come into the accumulation, right? Trading below the reaccumulation here doesn't mean that we're bearish, because this is still what is maintaining structure. All right. But anyway, yeah, I've been going on a little shopping spree with crypto, just because we've been getting some really nice dips, and I'm all about cost dollar averaging for my portfolio. So I'm going to continue to buy it. And, like I said, I've been waiting. Now, I personally won't be buying Bitcoin at 32,000, just because, it'll be 100% gain to get up to, to all-time highs, which is going to happen. But I'll be buying some of the altcoins and stuff, because there's definitely better R to R coming out of it. We'll get into crypto later. Let's dive into the charts. We'll round out crypto at the bottom. Towards the accumulation, I'm not doing it on BTC, but I'm doing it on all the altcoins. So yeah, I can tell you I bought a lot of Polkadot, a lot of I've been wanting to buy Matic, but Matic hasn't given me a pullback yet. But yeah, I've been buying a lot of the altcoins, and believe you me, when Ethereum gets down, so I bought some Ethereum in here, definitely at 3,000. I had a large little order sitting there at 3,000. So Cardano, yeah, Cardano's on there. Yeah, Cardano's on there. So yeah, I've been buying Cardano all in here. So, and I'll continue, my, believe it or not. So my first purchase on Cardano was, I don't know, like 3 years ago at just under 2 pennies. So, my average dollar cost is stupid ridiculous down there at the bottom. So I'll buy Cardano all day long. Yeah. Not BTC. I'm personally not buying BTC. No. Just because, like I said, for me, I bought BTC at $3,600 back in March of last year. So there's no need for me to, like, say it comes down to 32,000 to all-time highs. We're only at 113%, right? That's all that is for me, 113. So in the same aspect, I can come over and I can do, what's one that I'm looking at? Like, where's Polkadot? I can do Polkadot, right? And Polkadot, if Polkadot gets down into my buy area, where I'm waiting, right? Remember, BTC was like 113. So just to an all-time high on Polkadot, it's 334%. So I'll double my investment by buying Polkadot instead of BTC. So that's why I'm not going to be doing that. I've got the BTC that I bought, last year back at 3,600. That's what I'm going to maintain. That's what I'm going to hold. I'm not going to be cashing that out. I cashed out what I wanted, and the rest I'm just holding until we get to some of the highs that I'm going to be taking some profits on. All right. What are altcoins? Oh man. Yeah. I really didn't want to turn it into a crypto session, but yeah. So, you've got your main coins, right? You got altcoins, you got DeFi coins, there's, yeah. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I'm find YouTube, find Google. There's tons. I can tell you that if it's not all right, we'll get to it at the end. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, because otherwise then we'll be spending the entire session on just crypto. So yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, just look at DeFi, right? DeFi coins, look at altcoins, right? So it's pretty much altcoins are everything outside of your mains, right? Your Cardano, your Ethereum, your Litecoin, your your Dash, your BTC, stuff like that. So yeah. But that's Polkadot, Polkadot's not even 100% operational, so when this thing goes, it's gonna go. Polkadot's a big one, Matic's a big one, Kusama's a big one, Chainlink's a big one. Everything on my list here is what I own and what I'm going to be getting back into with some other stuff. So, all right. That being said, we'll hit crypto at the end. All right. worries, no worries. All right. So first thing, let's dive into the dollar index. It's been a while since we've taken a look at the dollar index. I just want to make sure nobody's missed out on the movement that the dollar index has been making. So as you can see, we've been stuck here for the better part of going on 2 months, 53 days of just sideways BS. Absolutely nothing going on with the dollar index. So because of that, I just really haven't messed with EU. I have no real desire to play in this. One, it's going to take up equity and margin. Two, it has no direction. So I've got an alert down here. I want to see when we do break that. And ideally, what I want to see is I want to see what we do, especially in this reaccumulation, right? This is the reaccumulation that caused this break. So if I zoom out, you'll see right here, this accumulation, hold on, nope, get back up there. This accumulation is what caused this break. All right. So ideally, I'd like to see price come back down in here and see what we can do, build an accumulation to take this higher. Because I do feel like the US dollars can go higher. If you asked me to explain why, I couldn't tell you. I have no idea why the US dollar is so strong. I couldn't tell you fundamentally from a macro or microeconomic standpoint, couldn't tell you. There's no rhyme or reason. I couldn't tell you why this is happening with the current economic state, current economic policies that are in place, and what the outcome has been in all of the reports coming out of the US dollar. Couldn't tell you why, but apparently it's going higher. Yeah, inflation is high. Jobs are down. You're not only is the labor market suffering, but the trade market, inflation is ridiculous. We are sitting on a supply issue. We're sitting on all kinds of just if there's anything that could go wrong, like if you're running a business and you ask yourself, okay, so your supply chain is messed up. You're paying more for, your product. So your average return is going to be less. Everything that's going on in that business is going wrong. And that's essentially the US economy. But yet we are still trucking higher and higher and higher. And if you look at it from an order flow perspective, and I'll zoom in on this, right? Just from an order flow perspective, we haven't even broken lower time frame order flow, right? When we look at it, so this is your order flow leg, right? Your lower time frame order flow. This movement right here, we haven't even broken this thing. We've been stuck here for 60 days almost in still bullish order flow. So there has been and that's what I've been waiting for, is just weakness in the dollar, and we haven't seen it. So until I see some weakness in the dollar, I'm not going to be selling any of these US dollar crosses like GU, ARM. I'm not going to be buying anything alternatively or diametrically opposed to it. So I'm just kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting for us to either make a new high or make a new low. I feel like my old days when I used to trade break and retest, like we got a zone and I'm just waiting for the break and retest to see what the heck is going on. And that's it. I mean, there's really nothing for me to do anymore with it. Like I said, I'm not really trying to play anything until we break order flow. Like I'm not going to sell this until we break. My mic's going in and out. Really? Oh, you know what it is? Hold on. There we go. Is that better? Yeah, my bad. I keep turning. Yeah, my one of my daughters, one of their cats ate my headsets. So I don't have a cord for my headsets. Do I still? Yeah, I use comparative strength all day long. Yep, absolutely. So with EU and DXY, absolutely, I'll use it as a comparative measure. Yep. This isn't better. No. What's still going on? A microphone is still going on. Hold on. It's probably Zoom. Give me a second. Let me just give me 1 sec. Hold on. Is that any better? That work? Let me know. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. Sometimes it's Zoom. I don't know. It is what it is. No worries. All right. Okay. So DXY again, I'm just kind of waiting. I'm waiting. Are we going to take this higher? Are we going to come lower? I'm still bullish on the dollar. Nothing has changed. And the key for me is, where are we essentially distributing out of? Okay. And we could see we do have this little redistribution that's sitting here. Dude, Zoom and TradingView have been the biggest thorn in my side the last, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. I damn near had to buy a new, I don't know if it was a new monitor or if I had to buy a new iPad because I logged in. I did my markup Sunday and Monday. I logged into Zoom this morning and there was absolutely no markings. There was nothing. There was no watch lists. There was absolutely nothing. So luckily I went onto another computer, logged in, and it was there. So I just restarted the computer. It was ridiculous, man. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Oh, I know. Trust me. I've sent quite a few emails to TradingView. I demanded my money back on some of them, man. It was stupid. All right. So with DXY, I mean, ideally, I'm still looking for us to trade up into this area here. All right. That's what I'm looking at. Is flow going to make an accumulation? I hope so. I'm still, I don't care where flow is at right now. I'm still, for me, it's a cost dollar average for an investment purpose. I did buy some more flow last week and I'm going to continue to buy a little flow here and there as we go lower. It's got to bottom out somewhere and then I want to see the accumulation. I won't throw a lot of money into it. Everything, especially when it comes to speculative coins and stuff like that. I always have a dollar amount that I'm willing to lose on it. And then when I start to see evidence that buyers are coming into the market, that's when I'll drop some more money into it. So, all right. So overall, I'm looking for this bad boy to come up here, right? I want to see us get back up close to the 100 mark. We do need to come in and mitigate out of the COVID spike. Right. This COVID spike needs to be mitigated. So, and you can see we're just trekking. So whether or not we come back into this reaccumulation and then go higher, or we just reaccumulate here and go higher, that's kind of like my outlook on it. What's my final confirmation to place a trade from a schematic? No, it doesn't need to break the trading range. It just needs to, it just needs to, essentially, I need to break the structure within the schematic. So I need to break a structure within my box. So whether, wherever that high is, whether it's the STB, whether it's an ST, or whether it's the AR, it's whatever that high is that needs to break. Everything. And if you think about it, they're slowly moving in that direction, so that's what I'm waiting on. All right. So going forward, what I'm currently still holding, accumulation happens from reaccumulation? No. So you'll have your market cycle, man, hold on. Your market cycle would be, you'd have a distribution into a redistribution, and the redistribution is a failed accumulation with the intention of mitigating out of your distribution, right? So you have your distro, your redistro into an accumulation, right? That accumulation now then comes up into a failed distribution with the intention of mitigating out of the accumulation. So you have an accumulation into a reaccumulation. And then this is where we decide, are we going to mitigate out of supply and start the market cycle all over again and walk it down? Or do we break structure and then have a new market cycle from there? So accumulations and distros happen at the opposite spectrums, right? Distros happen at the top of supply, accumulations at the bottom of demand. And in between, you have your reaccumulations and redistros, which are your continuation moves. So hopefully that answers it. Yeah. All right. So anyway, what I'm looking for, perfect. Good. So, I decided to hold some trades over for the new year. Yes. So yeah, one of the main intentions is so that it gives cause, right? Because you need, like, let's just say this accumulation right here, right? So pretend this is just an accumulation, right? Price needs to what? Distribute in order to come lower, right? So in order for mitigation to occur, you would need a distribution. When price comes in here and then has an accumulation on a lower time frame, when you jump your creek and break your high, you now have converted that distribution into a reaccumulation. So yeah, ultimately it's one of the intentions of it is to mitigate out of that spring or out of that accumulation. It's also, it's essentially it is a trap, right? Because in order for the market to bring itself lower, it needs to create those opinions, and those opinions are related to, okay, we have resistance or whatever reason, we have a 50 moving average or a 9 moving average, all those opinionated and all subjective things out there that, cause people to say, okay, I'm selling from here. That's what the market is essentially orchestrating in a distribution. All right. Okay. Actually, hold on. Bear with me 1 second. Let me put my AC down. Alrighty, cool. All right. Or Chef JPY, listen, I have been bullish on this thing all of 2021, and I'm venturing to say I'm going to be bullish on it for 2022. I was looking for a potential buy out of this move right here. You could see what I was looking at. It just price never gave me an accumulation, nor did it give me anything I wanted to see going into a Friday, right? I'm very adamant in my rules on a Friday morning. And it just didn't give me a confirmation for entry. So we've broken order flow on a lower time frame. And now from that, all I wanted to see us come down into some nice little structure, right? So we could see this massive accumulation that happened in here, right? Multiple lower time frame schematics. You see all the distribution, you could see all the accumulation that was going on. So what I wanted to see us come trade lower. And unfortunately, it did come into an area. I just wasn't ready to take a trade on it yet. And lower time frame, we could see what this thing did, right? This was yesterday. Both CADJ and Chef JPY gave decent accumulations. I'll tell you right now, if CADJ, and I know some of the guys that were looking yesterday, CADJ yesterday gave just a BS type 1 accumulation that had no business doing on a lower time frame. Am I still? Yeah, of course I'm still holding the Chef JPY buys, man. Absolutely. I mean, look at it. If you were holding this buy, is there any price action? Hold on, where's it at? Right here. Is there any price action that's indicating to you that I should close out of these trades down here? Absolutely not, man. Especially after we made this high. Yeah. This is the very opposite of weakness. This is like, no. There's no reason to get out of it. So I'm holding it. I actually printed out that 15-second accumulation. I printed it out, put in a picture frame. That's the best trade I've ever taken in my life. So I'm pretty happy with it. Where's my final target? So if you look up here on the weekly, right? If you look up here on the weekly, and what do we have? We have that the Swiss franc just debacle that happened back in 2015 when their World Bank decided they wanted to drop some news. I'm looking to mitigate out of that. So you could see that the 80% is sitting in here, and inside of the 80%, we have a distribution. So I'm targeting like 134. So I've got another 1,000 pips to go because we're sitting, 900 pips to go is where I want to take it up to. All right. And you can look up here, like on the 4 hour, where's she at? Yeah, you could see the distribution sitting right in here. This is where I'm expecting us to come into. So, 134. Yeah, 134 right here. But how many reaccumulations and redistro cycles do we have in a market cycle? There is no limit. In a just overall bullish market, you'll have at the very bottom your accumulation, and then price will just continue reaccumulation, and so forth. You want evidence of that. Look at like UJ over the last like 2 years. Look at Chef JPY. There it's just nonstop. It is, hold on. There we go. Come on. There we go. It's just nonstop reaccumulation after reaccumulation. You could see, just look in this movement here, right? We had the accumulation. We had a distro turn into a reaccumulation. We had a distro up here turn into a reaccumulation. Distro turn into a reaccumulation, right? Distro reaccumulation, distro reaccumulation. Like this will just continue to go higher until the market's no longer bullish, right? So there is no minimum number, right? You don't always necessarily need to have that continuation play. Price can just come into a distribution and sell off, but you want to follow your market cycle. So, what I would be looking for, in a intraday or higher time frame, like on Chef JPY, I'm not looking for an accumulation because we haven't broken any structure, right? I'm going to be looking for continuation play. So I'll be looking for that distribution. Distribution gives me a shakeout, breaks the high, jumps the creek, and I play the mitigation. And that's really all I've been doing. That's the whole reason for this trade here was based out of the reaccumulation, the cause of the intraday breakup here and coming in to mitigate the shakeout, right? And it was that 15-second, entry that I waited. I want to say April 24th. I waited something like 150 days for this trade, but and that's what I caught. And it's sitting, well, it was around a 1 to 655. So yeah, cool. Very good. All right. So, and you can kind of see just looking at this, right? I mean, this is what's maintaining our lower time frame, right? And this is our leg. This accumulation is what's holding demand. And from there, what do I want to see? Well, I just want to see some evidence of buying, right? Where Chef JPY is like the epitome of bullishness. So I just need evidence of buying. And what do? We get that, right? We could see that price comes in to a demand area, right? Price comes into a demand area. And at that point, I just need to see some evidence of buying. What evidence do I want to see? I mean, I want to see a type 1 schematic. Do we get a type 1 schematic? I mean, oh, hold on. There we go. Do we get a type 1 schematic? Absolutely. There she blows right there. Ain't nothing wrong with this. Now, I will say that I think I missed the entry on it. So when you're looking at this schematic, it's unfortunate, but I think the entry's already happened. You could see we have our climax to our rally. Why is TradingView acting stupid? Normally I can draw this pretty easily, man. The imbalance looks so nice. What, this imbalance right here? Talking about that one. I think she's done, man. No, I think we mitigated already. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we mitigated. And I'll show you why. So let me do this right there. Okay. So we have essentially what we have is this, right? We have our climax to our rally, right? Let me do this. There we go. We have our climax to our rally. We have a secondary test, right? To an up thrust action. We have another secondary test right here. And then what does price do? Price gives us a spring. So if this is our spring, we know that this is phase C of our schematic, meaning this is phase B, meaning this is our secondary test in phase B. Well, does price not break above and give us a break of structure right here? Remember, wicks matter. I know a lot of people don't like the wicks, but wicks matter. So when price breaks that high right here, does it not trade? When you measure from here to here, does price not trade back to the 50%? And yes, it does, right? Yes, it does. So this would have been the entry. And unfortunately, this is the crap that the market does to me. This is, when they want to piss me off, they do these wonderful schematics at 5:33 p.m. Eastern time, 33 minutes past market changeover, where the spread on Chef JPY on my personal broker is probably sitting around 10 pips. So there's no way I can take that entry, right? So unfortunately, this happened during changeover. Nothing I can do about it, but it's there. And now, could we come back? And I mean, there is. I know, like Ben pointed out, there's a micro schematic in there. There is. I mean, it's a type 1 schematic on like a 5-second, 15-second. I just don't think we're going to come back to it. I think this was the mitigation of the spring, because what do we have after that? We have a reaccumulation, right? So where I'm looking to take out these Asian lows and trade into the reaccumulation. That's where I'm going to be waiting. Now, I definitely will not turn away if we come into this area so I can trade out of it. But this entire area, I mean, we're talking, this was a 6 pip stop from the 50% down to this low. Alrighty. So unfortunately it's there. It is a really clean type 1. It sucks that happened. And then what do we have, right? We have another reaccumulation that occurs here. Okay. And you can just see price walking itself up, right? And then from there, I've got my alert. I'll see what happens when we come down in here, right? But this is all just order flow, right? There is no structure to this yet. We haven't broken a high. And what I mean by that is when we come up here to the 15-minute, right? You can see where we're at. We have broken order flow, right? We broke order flow right here. And now from just a lower time frame perspective, this is the order flow leg. So I don't necessarily need us to break order flow to the upside to look for buys. But I'm going to be playing continuation moves. There is no like waiting. I don't want to see price come down to here, right? What I'll be looking for, and something I was looking at this morning, was that Asian sweep. We didn't get it. So what I'll be looking for now is, essentially the same thing. Wait for an Asian sweep. You already can kind of see what's going on. We have a small little distribution happening. Maybe that distribution is the reason that we come down, right? Get potentially, if this is our Frankfurt price action, if Frankfurt would sweep the Asian low and then we get a move like that, any kind of pullback is where I'm going to be buying, right? Out of this reaccumulation, if this happens up here or in here, that's what I'm going to be doing. Wait for the sweep, the shakeout, cause a new high, take the mitigation out of it. All right. And this is all just order flow, right? We haven't broken any structure to this. This is all just order flow being maintained from the high. Okay. All right. So that's Chef JPY. That's what I'm looking at. Again, I'm at any point, I would say in the last 6 months, if you just hit buy market on Chef JPY and didn't over leverage, you're going to be in some profits at some point. My mic is still buggy. Really? Man, I don't know. Anybody else having issues with my mic? It's got to be Zoom, man. It's got to be Zoom. Because like when I record and stuff like that on it, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, no worries. All right. Okay, let's move on. I mean, it could be worse. I could throw the headsets on that have like, you're on Zoom. All right, sounds good. I've got like, I don't know. I ordered it from Best Buy, some new headsets, man. They're taking forever. Okay, let's go now. All right, so next is Euro GBP, right? Euro GBP let's go from the higher time frame, right? So everyone knows that we're in a distribution, right? We're seeing this as a distribution, right? No issues about it. And when we look at market cycle, where do we expect price to come to? So if we jump up here to the weekly, you could see the market cycle play out, right? We could see, reaccumulation, distribution, redistro, an accumulation, a reaccumulation, and then just this massive distro that's been in play for the better part of 5 years. So if this distribution is going to play out, what's my target? Well, I want to play into this reaccumulation right here. This is where demand came in and created this. So going forward with it, where am I looking? We've been seeing price just over the last, I don't know, maybe 12 months, just show this willingness to just walk itself down, right? Just walk itself down. The price action on Euro GBP has just been really nice. I'm still holding sells on it. However, when you look at it, we are in somewhat of an accumulation, right? This is an accumulation of some sort. We just haven't confirmed it. And you can see that we are in the weekly candle. Right. This green or blue or aqua, whatever you want to say. I'm colorblind. So to me, it's kind of like greenish, but this box here represents our weekly candle. What I want to see is now evidence of price breaking a high. I want to see this is the high that caused this low. I want to see that break so that I can do something like this to take it up into this distribution. Yeah. You got stopped on EG today. You didn't wait for the break. Yeah, no. So for me, rule Rule number one for me, any entry requires a break of structure no matter what. Yeah, I need a break of structure. Oh, for the love. I've been waiting on UJ all day long. And now at 12 minutes to Asian Open is when the stupid thing goes off. Yeah. Okay. So going lower time frame, right? Now, what do we have? And you could see here. I mean, I'm guessing you were looking at the same thing I was, right? And what I wanted to see was just a break. We have a climax to a rally, right? To a test, to a test, to a test, and then we have essentially this, right? So this is essentially my spring now. And if that's the case, this is my test in B. But what I need to see is I need to see the break. No break, no trade, right? No break, no trade. And that's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on the break, and then I'll take the mitigation out of it. Now, this being just a larger time frame than I normally take trades out of, if this were to happen something like this now becomes my slingshot area, right? This is my SC area. This is my extreme. And we know that the 80% sits here. Well, I guarantee you that we also see 50%. So we're going to build confluence in this. We know the 80% has some demand. And depending on what happens in this as a reaccumulation, if it does in fact break above the high, I'll be potentially waiting for a lower time frame schematic in these two areas. I'll probably still take an entry out of the 80%. But realistically on EG, I know I can do better than, well, I mean, 5 pips is still pretty decent, but I need the break. This is the most important thing right here. I need this break. And if it doesn't break, all we have is just bearish price action, right? I mean, when you look at this entire schematic, price comes down, right? We have the high. We then make the low, right? We then make a high, and then we make a low. So we're bearish, right? I mean, when you look at it, intraday structure is bearish. Lower time frame structure is bearish. Order flow is bearish. So there's no buys yet for me, right? There's nothing to do with this yet for me to get into this. What high did I use to measure the spring? Just, yeah, this one right here. Hold on. This for me. Oh, are you talking about to measure the spring for the entry, or you're talking about what the true spring is? So the true spring is this price action right here, right? What I measured was Frankfurt price action, because Frankfurt, when you here, hold on, let me get into it. Let's go 5 minute. So when you look at it, right, you can see that there's this accumulation right here, right? There was this accumulation. This was the attempt for buyers coming into this market. But what happened? Well, when Frankfurt came in, Frankfurt right here swept the lows. So what I'm going to be looking for is I know that this was the manipulated move, right? For all intents and purposes, this was a distribution, right? Here's your creek. You can see price building buy orders in here. And, ideally it should have stopped right here, right? We should have come into that Frankfurt, and then London should have taken off. But instead, what they did was they just swept all of that price. So this is what I know. I know this is where the sell orders came in. And I know this is where the buy orders came in. So this is what I'm measuring. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, cool. There we go. All right. That being said, now, so EG, that's what I'm waiting for. I will still, even though that we have this accumulation, right? Accumulations, remember, an accumulation that fails. So an accumulation can still do this, right? And trade into supply and then fail. And then we have a redistribution. So structure still is on the side of sells, right? So if we do come back, where's it at? If we do come back into the most recent price action where supply is in control, I'm going to be looking for sells out of this right here. Okay, right out of that. All right, and then we'll see what happens. But I definitely want to position myself in the buy if we get it right. No break of structure, no buy. It's going to be that simple for me. But if we do, hold on. I think I got a very important text here. Let's see. No, it was not important. Never mind. I thought one of my bots got another GPU, but It is what it is. So that's your GBP, right? I'm going to continue with it. I am holding the shorts, right? I am still in sells from two positions. I'm in the sell up here, and then I'm in the sell from up here still, right? So this one, not a lot of volume is still in this order, but it is sitting at 300 pips. You know, it's at a 1 to 29 R to R. I think I only have maybe like, I want to say like 12 or 15% of the original order still open. All right. So moving over to EU, right? Moving over to EU. Like I said, I really haven't done much with EU because of the shenanigans, right? You know, we're in a bearish market. I'm not looking for buys yet. I will look for buys for a hedge, but it just hasn't given me anything that I really want to dive into. You know, like I said, for the last 35 days, actually more than that, 45 days, we've been stuck in a 180 pip range. That's just not something I want to play with. So I'm still holding myself from up here. All right. I've taken significant volume off of that. And, you know, I'm going to be waiting here, right? Much like on the DXY, I'm looking for price to come back into supply, which is the redistribution out of this. And if price can walk itself back up into here, this is where I'm going to be looking for sells. Or the other option would be just like DXY, if we break this low, we have now confirmed a redistribution. And ideally, what I'd like to see is a manipulative move. I'd like to see something take out all these highs. So whether we pop up, distribute, then make the low, I know I'm coming back into the distribution that caused that low. Okay. So that's what I'm looking with EU. Nothing has changed. I'm still holding the sells. I'm not going to get rid of them. Nothing about this price action. Come up to like an intraday time frame. Right? Come up to an intraday time frame. Nothing about this price action here is telling me, you know, maybe I should close out of my sell. There's absolutely no reason to, especially because I'm in the sell from right up here, right? So that being said, EU, I'm still bearish on it. I'm just waiting for price action to give me some kind of indication to really dive into the trade. All right. And until that happens, I'm just going to sit on my hands with it. You know, I do like EU. I finished my 2021 journal, and actually EU is the number 5. Yeah, number 5 pair with the highest profit margin for me. So, you know, I definitely enjoyed trading EU last year. Believe it or not, the number 1 and the number 2 for my 2021 journal, I know it's not hard to figure, but Chef JPY was number 1. Pound Australian dollar was number 2, and then SPX, you know, S&P 500 was number 3. So I definitely, yeah, GA, and actually surprisingly number 4 was NZD CAD. But going back, you know, back in January, February, March, really destroyed NZD CAD on a couple buys, and on a couple buys. So, and then of course I caught the sells coming into the end of the year. So going that NZD CAD, you know, massive bearishness coming out of this. You know, we've broken intraday structure where lower time frame is bearish as well. And I'm going to be playing the continuation moves, right? We have, you know, you can see right here, I was looking for price to come back into this. We didn't quite do that, but what we did do is we distributed and then had a redistribution right here. So for me, now that we have made a new order flow leg, right? This is my order flow leg. And because I'm in a bearish market, I will entertain definitely sells from up here. Okay. And then if we do come into this redistribution, I want this, right? This is what I want. This is my X marks the spot. If we do come into that redistribution and I got nothing else going on, I'll play out of the redistribution, right? So I'll play out of, I'll play out of this right here. But what I want is this, right? And for me, point of interest is going to be that 61-minute candle. So when you want the full volume candle, that's it right there. So really clean distribution that happened here. That distribution actually occurred same exact area as AUD CAD. And AUD CAD last week just gave some really, really nice entries that are really, really, you know, phenomenal profits. I am still holding myself from up here from back in November. And this thing is now sitting at, you know, 101 to 136, and it's sitting about 350 pips in profit. So it's in a really nice area. I'm just looking now for continuation moves. So we have now created a new order flow leg right here. any return to supply in this point or in this point, I will be looking for those shorts. All right. And then overall target, I've been saying again, the COVID move, right? The COVID spike. And I want us to trade back into this, which, that's going to be the first area. And then this is the second area, give or take this box. All right. But we're still bearish, right? We're still in a bearish market. You look at what price has been doing. And this is especially after this break right here, the distribution supply is in control from here. We've sent this down, we came back into supply, and now it looks like we're probably going to make a new low. So for me, I'm definitely positioning myself in to swing this for just a very long time. Whereas at least as long as the holdover swap fees just don't make it unattainable to hold anymore. Okay, so that's NZD CAD. Again, looking for shorts on it. I want to see it come back into order flow. I don't need it to come into structure because I'm playing the continuation moves. All right. Silver, update on silver. There was a pretty decent play out of here, gave a 1 to 24 based off of, the same thing, my Frankfurt manipulation that swept Asian highs. All right. So we could see right in here, you've got Asian liquidity. You've got, this is the London Open that comes back into your distribution. So from there, I was looking to play out of this move right here. I just measured the entire London move. You can see 50 and 80 price. Yeah. It came right in. So, pretty clean price action. And now what I'm looking at, right. You can see that this right here is New York price action. Right. So I'm looking right here, I'm going to wait and see what we do when we get in there. I'm actually going to move my alert just a little higher, and I'm going to be continuing to take this down, right? Where we are in a bearish market on silver, unlike gold, where gold is, I don't know if gold is drunk. I don't know if gold is just lost and needs like a GPS to find its way, but silver has continued to make on the intraday lower lows and lower highs. I'm happy to play silver. Gold, on the other hand, is who knows what gold is doing. So I'm going to play the one that's giving me the structure points. And out of this, we do have really clean order flow. We have, let me get over here to like a 1 hour. So we can see here what's going on. Ideally, I'm holding my silver sell from here still, from back in the middle towards the end of November. I wanted to see if we can come back higher. So if we do, great. If not, and we do come back into the area I want to see, obviously you can see I've got an alert down here. I just want to take the low. So take the low, start making some more structure points. And, obviously I'm going to be taking partials as I go. But yeah, silver was definitely a pretty nice, clean move. And I'll be continue to hold what I have. We'll talk about indices at towards the end here. So ACAD's the other one that I'm looking at. Again, much like NZD CAD, right? We've just been selling this thing, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Way back in the middle of the summer, we identified this potential accumulation. We had the manipulation, and once we got the break, right? Once we got the break to confirm the redistro, can you have a look at Eurochef? Yeah, we'll take a look at Eurochef. I'll tell you what, I'll get through ACAD. We'll look at Eurochef, but do me a favor. Can you just tell me the directional bias on a higher time frame on Eurochef? Humor me for that, and then we'll take a look at it. And then you'll understand why I don't trade Eurochef. But yeah, so we identified the manipulation. And then what happens? Price distributes out of there. And then we break a low, right? And then price distributes out of that. And then we break a low, and then price distributes out of that. So it literally is just simple as doing that on OddCAD, right? So, OddCAD has, realistically, I've had just a tremendous amount of profits coming out of OddCAD. And we're in a bearish market. I don't need to wait for, structure breaks. All I need is evidence of selling. So when price ends up distributing, redistributing, and then breaking the low, when we accumulate here, right? What happens? I'm looking for a distribution out of either my slingshot or out of the extreme of order flow. And, lo and behold, that's what we get, right? We get a really, really clean last week. I think it was Monday or Tuesday of last week, just a super clean distribution. Now, it doesn't come all the way up into the sell area, but I mean, we're talking about 6 pips and missed it by 6 pips. But we do get a really clean distribution, right? 1, 2, 3 drive, UTAD breaks, comes back into 50% of our UTAD and then just melts. So this thing was pretty healthy. I'm personally not in this trade. I don't know what I was doing. I know I looked at it, and then when the entry came in, it was right at like 1 p.m. my time, which I probably was doing something else, but this thing just fell off the face of the earth. And had I been in it, it's sitting around a 1 to 31. All right. But what I'm going to be looking for, let me hide the drawings real quick. What I'm going to be looking for is I'm looking for price to come back into this move right here, right? This is the move during essentially New York session that came back into supply here. So I want us to trade up. You can see I've got my alert line sitting right up here at like 91,800. And I'm going to be looking for price to come here and distribute. All right. UJ's playing with your heart right now. Oh man, I don't even look at pairs during Asian session anymore, man. It's if you want, I can give you like a sneak peek at what's going to happen on UJ. Whatever price action is happening right now, it's not going to last during London or New York. My mic is going in and out again, man. It's Zoom. That's what it is, man. It is Zoom. Hold on, bear with me. 1 second. Let me just do this. Let's see. It is, you know what? It is Zoom. I don't know why. It's the input volume. It doesn't let me like drag it up for some reason. So that's why it's going in and out. I don't know why it does that, man. Oh, wait, here we go. That's why. Stupid thing. Here we go. Alrighty. Is that a little better? Yeah, that's yeah, I just saw that. I just saw the checkbox. Yeah, that's what it was, man. Yep, I got it now. Alrighty. It's weird because was it doing it this morning on the Zoom call this morning? Oh, well, all right. It was. All right. So that's what it was. It was just the automatic thing on it. All right. Hopefully that fixes it. Okay. So back to AutoCAD, right? I'll be looking for price to essentially make its way back up in here, right? That's what I'm going to be waiting on. And if we can get that, I'm definitely going to take it now. I don't necessarily need us to trade all the way back up there. I'll just play redistributions, right? So you can see much like this accumulation with your ICE, you do have a distribution that is present. The only thing for me, the only thing that invalidates the setup for me and why I'm not going to be looking for an entry out of it is because of where the Asian highs sit. Anything on Odd Chef? Odd Chef should be pretty similar to AU, but when we get to AU, we'll jump over to Odd Chef. Yeah, and you know what? Hold on. Let me pull up the. Let me pull up Euro Chef. Yeah, we'll look at Euro Chef. I'm almost positive. I haven't looked at Euro Chef in probably, I don't know, 6-8 months. I haven't traded Euro Chef in 2 years, but I'm almost positive that. We'll look at it. I'm almost positive this thing is not anywhere near where I would want to take an entry. All right. So AutoCAD, you can see, right? You can see your accumulation right in here. You can see your distribution, right? You could see an attempted redistribution and then price just goes back into supply. So you have your ICE, and the only thing that's keeping me from taking a trade out of this is the yellow snow, man. I don't play in the yellow snow, so I'm not going to take a trade out of there now. If I wake up tomorrow morning and we have some magnificent type 1 schematic that is just calling my name and I get something like that in the yellow snow, I potentially will take something, but it's going to be very short lived. Like I'm going to treat it more like a scalp than anything else. And we'll see how that goes, right? We'll see how that goes. All right. So real quick, before we get into the, what happened? Yeah. Is the mic, is it screwing up again? No, it's not, right? We're good, isn't it? All right, cool. It is perfect. Yeah, that's all it was. It was just on the auto, some stupid auto thing, man. All right. Let's get over to the wonderful Euro Chef. So I know you're looking at it off that 4-hour accumulation, but let's just take a gander here real quick. No, I don't want to set an alert there. That's for sure. All right. So, yes, I have not. Yeah. Oh yeah. If it calls my name, absolutely, I'll take it. All right. So let's see what the heck this thing has done. So we are so first and foremost, we're in a bearish market. All right. We are in a bearish market, and man, I don't know. February was the last time I might have marked this up to see if there's a reason to buy this, but we just collapsed on this. Yeah. I mean, you're in a bearish market. It is what it is. Like I'd be looking for sells here. I'd be looking for sells maybe up in here, but I would not, me personally, I'm not looking for buys on it, or I wouldn't be looking for buys. But on the weekly, yeah, man, on the weekly, look at this. So you are, here's the Swiss bank collapse right here, right? And you've just been stuck in this range since 2015. Yeah. So, man, this price action is just horrible. I mean, this thing moves like, all right, let's look at your 4-hour real quick. Hold on. Let's see this. So where are we accumulating? Let me see this. Where are we accumulating? Are we accumulating anywhere in demand? Maybe over here. Let's see. So what did this do? All right. So, I mean, you're in a little bit of demand. I mean, this definitely did cause a new high. Let's get down to the 1 hour. Hold on. So on the 1 hour. So you have, man, this thing is just hideous looking. I want to say there's a micro in here as well. Let's go 15-minute. Yeah, no, it is absolutely nothing I'd want to be a part of. It's your least favorite pair. Actually, it is the only pair that I have in my journals that I have a negative profit margin on. It is the only pair. Does it come back and mitigate there? I think it does, right? It doesn't even come back there, does it? Speed this up. Oh, it does. It does. Son of a gun. People wonder why I do the 80, huh? It does. Again, look at the time that this comes in. This entry comes in at 17:15, which is 5:15 p.m. Eastern time, 15 minutes after changeover, where the spreads on Eurochef are going to probably be astronomical. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this. If you're going to wait for a schematic, okay, just remember you're in a bearish market. I don't even think you're, wait a minute. Let's just look at, so we know higher time frame are bearish. From an intraday perspective, yeah, intraday we're also bearish as well. And then where are we on lower time frame? Yeah, in lower time frame we're bearish as well. So Yeah, I mean, for me, lower time frames being maintained from this distribution here. That's my lower time frame structure. So your bearish times 3. The only thing you got going is a lower time frame order flow. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is here. This is what I'll throw that up there for you. Hold on. There we go. Good luck with it. Good luck with it. That's about what I'm going to do with it. All right, let's get over to AU. All right, so here's AU's in a predicament for me, right? So we have not invalidated this, right? We came ever so closely, but we haven't invalidated it. However, I mean, we could see that supply is in control. When we look at, let me hide this shenanigans, man. This chart's all ate up. When we look at this, I mean, supply is definitely in control, right? Every accumulation has failed, right? Failed. Every accumulation has failed. The distributions are in control, meaning supply is in control, right? So when we have supply in control, you can see, lower time frame is being maintained from the distribution up here. If we did get up there, that's where I'd be looking. But what we did get was we did see price distribute out of supply, right? We could see just massive redistributions going on here. Now, order flow, right? Order flow is still being maintained. So again, it's one of those that's like a conundrum, right? Where intraday structure is bullish, lower time frame bearish, higher time frame bearish, order flow is mixed, but supply is in control. We're not seeing any accumulation. So when I don't see an accumulation that's really doing anything, it's telling me that buyers aren't coming into this market. It's all manipulative, right? Supply, whoever's controlling supply is manipulating the market for whatever agenda they're going to be putting forth. So when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at it like this, and you could see, we have a distribution gives us the boof, right? We then come up, we distribute out of supply and get another distribution there. You could see the market cycles on just a micro level playing out. So what do I want to see? Well, it all begins and ends with the schematic. If I get a schematic there, I'll give a little bit of risk, but I'll be honest, this isn't anywhere near like the top 5 of my setups that I'm looking at. This is one of those that if I have just a small amount of risk that I'll throw at it just to say, I was there, I saw it, I did it. I'll go and proceed with that. But I'm not putting any real risk on this trade. This isn't something that I really want to, definitely I'm definitely not over leveraging myself on it, but I don't want to overcommit myself and be the reason why I can't get into a trade like on GJ or on US dollar Swiss franc or on NZD CAD because my margin is tied up with AU on some stupid order flow play out of this, So again, if nothing else is going on, I'll play it, but you have to understand that you are stuck in this leg and you still have the potential for going higher. Right. So, obviously if we get something, like say I wake up in the morning and we trade it in here during London and we get that, right? Yeah. All day long, I'm playing out of the manipulation that caused it. And then we're going down. So that's kind of what I'm going to wait on. All right. So that's AU, and A chef is pretty much going to be the same thing just by, if I remember correctly. I haven't looked at A chef in a minute. Yeah. Let's see. So what the heck did I have here? December 5th. What is that? What is that? Hold on. You got to be kidding me. What did I have marked out here? November 2nd. Man, what did I have there? November 2nd. I had something marked out there. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, don't tell me. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's 80% of that accumulation. Son of a gun, man. November 2nd. Let me see if I have this marked up on A Chef in my journal. It's one of those, man, like you could be prepared all you want. You can have all the organization, but sometimes they just slip by and there's nothing you can do about it, you know? All right. So hold on. A Chef, November 2nd. A Chef. What do I have? I have, oh, don't tell me this. Don't tell me this. What's that price point? That price point is it 6709? 64. No, 64. So it's not that. Hold on. Maybe I don't have it marked out. Yeah, I guess maybe I don't. Maybe I did it on a back test or something. I definitely had this marked out though. All right. So, man, you know, I'm bearish on AU. You have to be bearish on A Chef, but it's just looking at it from, I don't even know what would that risk have been? Geez, what would that risk have been? Hold on. These are the ones that you throw like $50 at and don't even think twice about taking it. You just set the damn limit. Because what would this have been? This would have been a 5 pip stop. So you'd be sitting 240 pips in profit, you know, about a 1 to 48. It ain't too crazy. Okay. So yeah. So A Chef, much like AU, right? We've respected demand, right? This is the push that gave us this. And we came right into some demand and had a reaction. So you're stuck between, right? We're stuck between the range. Lower time frame is sitting right here. Intraday is sitting right here with a very clean mitigation play. So there's 2 ways that I would be doing this. You know, from a higher time frame. Hold on, what are we on the higher time frame? Is it like AU? Let's see. Oh yeah. Higher time frame, we're bearish. Okay, so ideally, a perfect scenario is I would want to get into the sell first. So what I would be doing is waiting to see, will price come into supply in this redistribution, or will we come up into supply in this distribution? Because this is what's maintaining lower time frame, right? So if we come here and distribute, or if we come here and distribute, I want to position myself in that sell. And then when we come back into potentially something here, I'd be looking for a hedge buy, right? Now, if we do distribute out of lower time frame structure, the likelihood of us getting into a position of any worth out of this is going to be pretty much slim, right? I wouldn't be holding my breath to try to get into a buy there just because this move gave nothing. If anything, it was the reason to get price back up into a supply point and just continue the move like ACAD did. All right. So that's what I would be looking for. You know, I'd be looking for the sells. I personally, I'd be playing AU instead of A Swiss, just because your spread's going to be a whole lot better on Australian US dollar than Australian Swiss franc. Okay. So that's AU, A Chef. I'll be honest, like had chefs on my list, but it's, you know, it's not something I really want to play right now. So you can see like the distribution, right? And then the redistribution here did nothing, right? We never broke the low. So because we never broke the low, really, when you go to cause and effect, this is just noise. So yeah, I mean, I have an alert up here. Yeah, I do have this redistribution here as a target. Maybe something will come of it. You know, one good thing about going into CAD Chef is we're bearish on the higher time frame. We're bearish on we're bearish on the higher time frame, bearish on the lower time frame. So I don't necessarily need us to keep making lower lows and lower highs. I just need evidence of supply coming into the market. So, you know, distro, redistro, we have now invalidated an area of supply. If we invalidate this area here and trade above it, there's a really good likelihood that we're going to continue high, right? We're just going to continue trading high. And to be honest, I am mad bullish on CADJ. So I would rather be buying CADJ than trying to sell CAD Chef. All right. So that's how I'm kind of playing CAD Swiss franc. I'm going to be focusing more on CAD than I will anything else, CAD related. Okay. Next, here's CAD, right? I mean, there's not much to say. Has anybody caught any of the buys on CAD the last 2 weeks? Because it definitely gave some just tremendous buy positions. Aren't we bullish lower time frame on what? On CAD Chef? Talk about CAD Chef? No, we're bearish. So look at the points, right? So we had distro turn into supply, right? Distro breaks, come back. We have a distribution breaks. We come back, we distribute, and I want it to break. So right now, realistically, this is maintaining my structure on lower time frame. Does that make sense? Yeah. I'll just remember this is order flow, right? But it's follow your market cycle. What is it? It's an accumulation, right? So the distro is what's maintaining structure. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Because this had this made a new low, had this traded below here, then this distribution would be maintaining lower time frame. Okay. Yeah. Yep. So all right, CAD. So anybody catch any of these moves on CAD? All right. So when we look at it, right, no question about this. We had structure being here, right, intraday, because we broke here. So this is the intraday leg. And then what do? We break it, right? So we break intraday. So this is what's maintaining. It's both lower time frame and intraday at that point. I just haven't updated this low here. But this is our intraday leg. And from a lower time frame perspective, lower time frame broke, right? This is not lower time frame structure because this is the break. So what do we know? We know that this reaccumulation, right? This reaccumulation is equal to a slingshot on the lower time frame and the intraday, right? Does everyone understand that this reaccumulation is the cause of both of those? So what I wanted to see was price trade into this area, and quite, we did. I mean, it was just a really, really clean area. You could see, here's your reaccumulation, right? Really clean price action. If we, hold on, I don't know why my markings are all jacked up. Okay. So this is that manipulation I wanted to come in and mitigate out of. And you could see what happens, right? We had an attempt at accumulation. That accumulation went into a distribution, and we never did anything, right? We never broke any order flow. So what happens? Price trades below it, right? We trade below it we have the distro, we have a redistro into an accumulation, right? Can everybody see the accumulation down here? I know on the 1 hour, it's extremely difficult to see, but let me, so if I were you guys, I would definitely have this marked out, because when this becomes structure and this becomes the extreme, just like Chef JPY, I can guarantee you I will have a limit order sitting on this. So here's your 5 minute type 1, very, very clean type 1. If you go to the 1 minute, on the 1 minute, here she is right there. Very, very clean type 1 schematic, right? Super clean type 1 schematic. And then more importantly, yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. It's refrigerator worthy, right? Refrigerator worthy. And then more importantly, what do we notice about this right here? Right? 50% of this 1 minute candle, which is the spring on the super micro accumulation. Yeah, no, there was no entry from it. No, trust me. I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, right, guys? I want to say we like when this broke, we were looking to take it, right? I know. I mean, I can't remember what I was doing 2-3 weeks ago, but yeah. It was. Yeah. Thanks, Mahi. Yeah, we were looking to take it. I mean, we had the limit order set, and so right now you can't even get on the seconds time frame for it. So I would definitely make sure, I know I've got it in my journal. It's ready to go. And yeah, so This is going to be a limit order, right? I've got it marked out here already, and it'll be a limit order that I will put back in when we do this, right? So you could see, hold on, let's go 1 hour. There we go. So I have it already set up, but once we do this, right? This now becomes my extreme, right? We came into supply, we came into the slingshot, and then we made a new high. So now this becomes my lower time frame extreme. And I will gladly have that limit order set, ready to go in the event that we come down to it. Okay. That'll be a limit order on the extreme all day long until obviously it'll be invalidated when we get something like that, right? Then that order will be deleted. I'll delete it off my whiteboard, delete it off my my notes app, and then yeah. Do I set limit orders on most extremes? Yes, I do. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so price action though, right? I mean, we could see leading out of this just bullish order flow, right? Mad bullish order flow, especially when we get the boof, right? When we get our boof right here, it's all day long looking for buys, right? Play the continuation play. Play the continuation play. So what I was looking at was this, and this was Thursday and Friday. So, you know, you could see we had a distribution, price comes back in during New York session, makes a new high, right? So this is order flow. I need a schematic, right? The only way I'm taking an entry is through a schematic. So do we get a schematic? Absolutely, right? There's your schematic. Not the cleanest, right? Not the cleanest, but we do have a schematic there, right? Now, more importantly, it's a type 2 schematic, right? So you have your 1, 2, 3 drive, but notice what we get on the third drive. We get a type 1 in your third drive with a reaccumulation. So I had this limit order set, ready to go during New York session. You know, I woke up probably, I don't know, somewhere around here, about 4 or 5:30 in the morning is when I woke up. That's what I was waiting on. And oh, hold on. What do I, give me a second. Okay. All right. So that's what I was waiting on. Unfortunately, this stupid thing never comes back, but just because it doesn't come back to my entry doesn't mean stop playing it, right? Play the continuation move. So what we do get, I hear my daughter and my wife in the background talking. So what do we get? Reaccumulation is my slingshot. So I want to see an accumulation in here or in here, right? So what do we get? We get a distribution, right? Manipulation. This was news, CAD news that came out. And then do we get an accumulation here? Absolutely, right? So this was the first entry that I did take. Actually, I think 5 second is actually cleaner. Hold on. 5 second. So you could see the type 1 schematic, right? Super clean type 1 schematic. You know, you got your climax, your test in B, and then this is your spring, right? That's your spring. So I measured here to here. Here's 50% of the spring. We break, right? We break the high, a little bit of imbalance inside of that reaccumulation on like the 1 second time frame. And there it is, pop entry, right? Gives me entry. As soon as I see evidence of this reaccumulation and that progressive move to the upside, reduce my risk, we break this high and, you know, essentially it's break even. So that was the entry. I did have a, no, actually no, I did not have an entry. All right, there we go. Hold on, bear with me. All right, there we go. So yeah, of course, this was the entry that I grabbed and I took a second entry. So out of the reaccumulation, all I did was just measure now this move, right? This is what needs to get mitigated. You could see that 50%, the blue line, lines up right in the heart of the reaccumulation. So I had 2 entries off of this. You know, I put a little bit of risk off the 50%, stop loss just below the low. And then I had a second entry off the 80%, stop loss just below this low. So I split the risk, waited for price to come back into it. And there she is in my 50%. And at this point here, where we get this move, right, this reaction, reduce my risk, deleted my 80% entry, reduce the risk. This entry is now break even. And the original risk that I had on this trade, you know, whether it be 125, 250, whatever it was, you know, it's no longer at risk here. I could put that risk into this for a second order. And, you know, if we do a third order, guess what? I'm going to repeat it 50%, let this thing come back, see how she plays out. All right. Unfortunately, I know how it plays out. I had it there. She just never came back. And then you could just see how this price ended up playing out. You know, we get the nice little clean reaction. I did pay myself what I risked on the trades right up this high. No rhyme or reason. I just wanted to pay myself. This was actually, I think, the second trade of the year for me. And then of course I took partials right at the 9,100 level at a 1 to 15. Right, 1 to 15 is where I took my partials. And you could see what we did, right? We are looking to take and make a new high, right? So 91.40 was the next area that I was looking to take this sucker up to. And what happened now, this is Friday, right? This was Friday morning. I'll play this out here for you. And this was, again, just playing the continuation play, right? Obviously, you could see I'm looking for price to come back into this green box, right? Because this green box represents this drop, right? This is the 50, this is the 80 of this move right here, all right? But until we make a new high, I'm just going to play the continuation move. So on this continuation move, what do we have, right? We have the end of New York session coming into Sydney session, right? So we're in the heart of Sydney session. We're going to come on into Asian session. And here is Asian session starting. So what I want to see is, obviously, this is essentially a continuation move, right? I just want to see a manipulation to the downside and then a break to the upside, and I'll play out of it. Okay. So let's fast forward. Hold on. Let's fast forward. Boom. All right. There we go. So what I wanted to see was this. All right. You can see all the dancing around going on during Asian. Frankfurt comes in, and then boom, this is your London move. London sweeps New York price action from the previous day, sweeps Asian lows. And now we have a clear manipulative move that I want to mitigate out of, right? So all I'm doing is I'm measuring the sell. This was the sell. This was the manipulation. So I need that. You could see here's 50, here's 80, and it's order flow. So for me, I need a schematic, right? I need a schematic. So fast forward to what I want to see, right? And you can see here's the 80%. Do we have a schematic? Absolutely, right? We have an accumulation that occurs here. We have a reaccumulation that occurs here, and we have the boof. Remember, structure on CAJ is bullish, right? Order flow is bullish. We've broken this here, and this is the lower time frame order flow that I not that I really needed this to make a new high, but I'm willing to take an entry out of that 80%. All right. Now, we do have an accumulation going on here. So I did take a small loss out of this trade right here. And when it comes to risk assessment, so you'll see, can you mark reaccumulation? Which one? Yeah, Mahi, which reaccumulation are you talking about though? Like anyone or just? So like here, like this one right here, right? So let's go 5 second. So you could see, right? You could see your distribution, right? Distribution, price breaks, right? Minimum of 3 drives up, 2 drives down, right? You got your 4 drives up, 1 drive, 2 drive down. This, was intended to mitigate out of this move, right? So here's your reaccumulation right here. Does that make sense? Oh yeah. And then this, hold on. And then this is your confirmation, right? That's your break. So you've got your creek, right? Got your creek. And then you could even say, I mean, you've got another reaccumulation here. So you've got price that has accumulated here, has reaccumulated here, and then evidence of strength confirming the reaccumulation. Okay. So yeah, now you don't necessarily need the 2 drives down, right? You just, I mean, typically, especially in a very bullish market, you may only get the 1 drive, but what you're going to see is you're going to see evidence of buying, right? So you could see an accumulation, you could see an accumulation. Yeah. When does, yeah. So you got a 2-prong test, right? 2-prong test for reaccumulations, redistributions. Jump across the creek, new high or new low, right? Break through the ice, new high, new low. That's for me, that's the confirmation. All right. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. You got it, man. You got it. All right. So, boom. Okay. So let's go back to this real quick. So I did take a small little loss. I did take a small little loss on this, right? So I did take an entry. I'm trying to think where the heck I took the entry. I can't think of where I took the entry somewhere in here. Took a small little loss, and then you could see essentially what happened, right? You could see that price comes in here, and then we get that news candle. All right. I still wasn't in this trade. I had the entry. I know a couple of somebody asked me in my chat if I had the entry on the 80%. But when we look at this, what do we just do? We just broke order flow. So this is maintaining our structure order flow, right? This is that move. So for me, the 80% was still on. Oh, you know what? That's what it was. That's what it was. I took an entry out of here, right here. So I took this entry. We have a really nice reaction, reduced my risk, ended up getting stopped out, but I had my 80% entry that I had off of the leg. So once that happened, this was, really tight entry, about 3.5 pips. And, I took partials as soon as we broke this high, and then you can just see what happened afterwards, right? Price out of this, price ends up, this is where I closed out because we're going into Friday. So I closed out at a 1 to 11, really nice play. And then ultimately what happens, right? Price ends up coming back into the area I wanted to see price come back into anyway. And in here was just a really clean, well, I wouldn't say really clean. It was a very obvious type 1 accumulation that occurred in this area. So you could see here's your schematic, right? So I know it looks like crap on the 5-second. You put your line chart on, maybe it'll look a little easier, but you essentially have your type 4. Price gives you what? Price gives you the attempted distribution with a 1 drive, 2 drive down reaccumulation. The reaccumulation taps into 80% and then confirms the break. So now, obviously I'm not in this trade from here. This is something I just back tested, but now I'd be looking for this to get mitigated, and I'd be looking for price to come somewhere in here to take it higher, right? That's essentially what I'd be doing. I don't know. Do we do that? Hold on. No, we don't come back. Yeah, we don't come back. This thing just takes off from there. So you could see, what did CAD do from here? We just decided to go bye-bye, right? So now that we have made a new high, right? So we have, and I know CAD here was a little long-winded, right? But now that we've made a new high, all right, this thing is still on the table for me, right? We could see this now is the extreme. This is the extreme of that structure order flow, right? So that's where I'm going to be looking. Come on. Yeah, I don't know what is TradingView. Like, I don't know if their API just slowed down or what, because it doesn't keep up with my mouse. Would you consider that a SC for Frankfurt? This right here? Yeah, but so Frankfurt didn't sweep it. The Asian low is intact. So even though I have my alert here, right, I would need to see just a super clean accumulation in this area for me to take anything. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. So yeah, but we have a new leg, right? New order flow leg. And I'm still holding, I am still holding these two orders here. I don't even know what they're at right now. They're sitting at 120 pips in profit on both of them. So, 1 to 33 and a 1 to 44. And we're just gonna keep walking this up. I mean, you could just see the price action. We're realistically, just basic stuff right there. What am I waiting for? Just waiting for the pullback to keep going higher. Okay, let's see what you got here. Do you see a way I can narrow down my stop loss on Pound Chef? Um, didn't I look at Pound Chef? Someone asked me to look at Pound Chef, right? Last week or the week before? Hold on, let's take a look. I looked at the slingshot. Yeah, that's what it looks like right here. By the looks of it, it didn't give any kind of entry. Let's see. So you're maintaining structure from here. Is that where your limit order is? Where's your limit order? Hold on. So your limit order is not out of structure though. So, I mean, if it was me, I'm waiting for a schematic in there because it's not structure, right? Because this was the low. So this is your supply that created the low, but you're maintaining from here. Yeah. Yeah, if that makes sense. I mean, we'll look in there. Hold on. So let's just see. So this is New York price action, right? New York, does it trade? It does not trade above that. Wow. Okay. So New York price action mitigates London price action here. This was, okay. So you've got the original boof. Hold on. I'm going to try and do this quick, but I don't want to lose people. All right. So we got the original boof. Original boof was caused by this manipulation from London. So if we come over here, let's go 5 minute. So you've got 340. All right. So here, I'm going to do lazy man fibs. So it may be off, but we'll see. All right. So here's 80. And then the actual move. Yeah, no. So here's the manipulation. And we're talking 6 minute, 7 minute, 8 minute. No, let's go 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's in there somewhere. Come on, give me it. Where you at? Getting closer. That 17 might be it. Maybe that's 17. Actually, I think that is going to be 80%. That's 17. If we go, measuring this London push right in here, is that where this comes? Let's see. Oh, son of a gun, it does. Maintains it. Yeah, it maintains it. All right. So you've got a distro in here. All right. I mean, play off the distro. If you're going to put a limit order, play out of that distro. I don't know. When was this? October 26th. Do you have the data from this? I don't know if we're going to be able to. Let me see. Can I go 4 minute? I think this is going to be the lowest I can go. Equalizer target for. You're concerned about what? What are you concerned with? So you got a distro. Equal highs where? Yeah, what do you mean the equal highs? When the distro, you're worried about the distribution? No, that's what I'm saying. Play out of the distro. So here's your BOS. So I'd be measuring this right here and looking for an entry. So you're probably going to see price come. Well, we'll get into it. Yeah. So if you're saying, are you worried about this and this high being equal highs? So, okay, let's talk about this. Why are you afraid of the equal highs? Give me your thought. Because of what? Possible stops above. Okay. Let me ask you this. And I'm right there with you because I used to think the same way. Who created this move right here? Supply did, right? And in the case to move the market in the way it did to manipulate these highs, who is supply? Yes, but specifically, that's an institutional move, right? That's not, yeah, there you go. Exactly. It's not, hedge funds. It's not for whatever, it's not anything of anybody that's going to have any stops sitting up here, right? That's a manipulative move. Now, further evidence that's an institutional move is we get this that mitigates out of the 80%. What's the only entity that will create a schematic? An institution, absolutely. So can it trade higher? Yes, right? Because we can go up into what structure is. However, when you look at, and that's why for me, I always want to see, okay, what exactly happened there? It's one thing if we didn't see a distribution, right? But the fact that we essentially have what this is a redistribution. And then we have a distribution that mitigates out of that redistribution exactly into a key level. So for me, I wouldn't be cautious about equal highs in this aspect because it's in the aspect of, stops being there or a reason for liquidity to be run. No, I mean, think about it this way. If this high gets taken, the institution that did that is now in drawdown. Could another institution push it higher? Absolutely. Right. But typically what you're going to see is you're just going to see the cycle play out for that institution until they're done with their orders and they move their money into another position. Okay. So me personally, like if I were going to take a look at Pound Chef, again, you've got a super clean schematic, right? You've got this going. So you've got your climax to your rally, to your test, to whether or not, I don't know if this actually trades below it, but maybe a potential MSAL. Actually, hold on. I missed one. So does this come back to 50%? Yes, it does. To another test, to a potential MSAL, right? And then you get your UTAD. So you're sitting right here pre-New York, you're in the heart of London. And then what do we see happen? We see the break, and then ultimately a redistribution, right? So what I'd be what I'd be looking at if you want to set a limit, right? Again, me personally, this isn't structure, so I don't set limits on this. What I would be doing though is I'd be looking for price somewhere in here. Somewhere in here is where I'm looking. Okay. I'm just going to send this out into infinity as well. All right. Yeah, this is somewhere I'd be looking, you know, and you can see, I know you're not going to have the data because this was back in October, but I'd be looking, you know, you have a micro distribution here, right? Here's your UTAD. So this is the 80% mark, right? If I measure this to this and this 80% is the same as that 80%, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to throw a couple bucks at it. So we'll see. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty darn close to it. Can't we measure next whole move? What next whole move, man? What are you talking about? Yeah, but why are you measuring this? Yeah, I wouldn't be measuring this. I'm measuring this. This is the drawdown. So Mahi, where are they in drawdown here? What's that? Because this is bearishness. They're not in buy drawdown, right? Because we're in a bearish market. You want to mitigate the buys. So that's why I'm looking at this micro. Yeah, but the redistro is from a distro with Asian price action. What are you talking about? Talking about this over here? No, this is an Asian price action here. You talking about what it distributed out of over here? See what you got, man. So what are you talking about? Are you talking about up here, or are you talking about this one? Up, this one here? Yeah, no, I know. Absolutely. That's why for me, I need a schematic no matter what. Yeah. I'm with you. I saw it right off the bat. This distribution here would have been perfect had Frankfurt just swept the damn highs. You know, if all they would have done was, what are we talking? If all they would have done was 1 pip, if they would have gone 2 pips, then all day long. But yeah, I would need a schematic here. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Just remember this. Like, this is when in doubt, right? When in doubt, that right there. When in doubt, right? Structure, supply and demand by following your schematics and your market cycle, right? And then cause and effect. That's the secret to my world right there. Yeah. If you're, and now what do you mean? And now you pay attention to the extreme, right? So, I mean, this is the extreme right here. So yeah. What is when I prioritize the orders, right? So structure is always number 1, supply and demand number 2, cause and effect number 3, and you know how I feel about order flow. That's number 457. What I used to say, like I like number 7 is like the lunar phases. Number 73 is the tide charts. I think number 152 is the Chinese calendar. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, 457 is order flow. I could care less about order flow. But yeah, no, this is something I definitely, this is why I would not have a limit order on it. I would need to play price, essentially wait for price action up there. But this here may be something, that I throw a couple bucks at, because I really do like how when we measure the UTAT on this micro, 50% of it, I mean, you're talking, what are we talking here? So we are talking to that high. All right, hold on. Let's see. Yeah, it sucks I don't have lower time frame because I can't see what exactly happened. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to force anything on it. I'll tell you this. I will put an alert here. I will give it a look if we do get up there. Where are we now? How far are we? Oh, we're not too bad. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. I'll give it a look if we get up there and do something. I mean, but yeah, that Asian price action high up there is not something I would be setting a limit on, up here. Not something I'd be setting a limit on. And if I remember correctly, I had a limit out of here and I deleted it because of Asian price action and it never got popped. So that was the last time we were looking at pound Swiss. All right. Moving on, because I think I'm almost done with it. Oh, geez. Yeah. So GA, man, my wife's going to kill me. On GA, we've broken structure, right? We've broken lower time frame structure. We've traded into intraday structure. What I was looking at price coming back into this reaccumulation that causes the break. So I'm still looking for it, right? I still want to see price come back into here. I did talk this morning with the guys that I trade with about potentially playing out of this manipulation, right? Playing out of this manipulation. But that involves a schematic, right? So when you look at it, here we go. So when we look at it from this price action, you could see that what do we have? We have Asian liquidity. We have the London Open that actually sweeps the low and then gives us signs of strength. Now, I would have wanted us to do this, and that's kind of what I was waiting on. If we do trade in here, just because of the bullishness we are seeing in the market, I will wait for the schematic. If that schematic presents itself, in my case, I just reduce my risk. My exposure to this is not going to be great. But, it's one of those you got to pay to play. So I'll definitely throw a couple bucks at it if it does present itself in this general area out of the London candle manipulation. But the fact that we have a distribution and we have not invalidated supply from it, because remember that distribution has now caused this break. I'm just going to be a little cautious with it. So awesome, man. Awesome. So yeah, GA and GN, the exact same thing. Now GN, right? GN, I was looking for similar price action. Now this is something where you can comparative strength both of these, right? You could see that GA has not made a high, right? GA has not made a high, but GN has. So GN is the leader in this. And this is why I'd be looking at GA. GN, again, confirmed reaccumulation, right? Confirmed the reaccumulation. Thoughts on gold, man. I mean, I know you trade gold more than I do. It's GN and GA do correlate. Yeah. Yep. Dude, I personally just don't want to do anything with gold. It's just sitting within a range, Yeah. I mean, you've got the distro here, you've got the accumulation here. If I was a betting man, I'd say that's a reaccumulation. So for a quick scalp, what I would be doing, if price comes back into this accumulation down here, I'd be playing it, but I would want to see a high, maybe something like this, and then a pullback either into here or in here. to take it higher into that distribution, but even that distribution did nothing. So the problem that I have with gold is we just have been unproductive. You know, buyers and sellers have not accomplished anything since 2021, right? Since this down here, you know, so that's, I mean, that's just what I'm, you know, my outlook on gold is it's sitting on the secondary list, and I'll just trade silver. You know, silver, I know where it's going. I know what I'm doing with it. I know how to manage it. So, and that's how I'll play it. You know, I mean, gold, I could see honestly gold coming all the way back up into this distro. You know, I could tell you recent price action. Man, I can't even tell you recent price action, because just looking at it, you know, you have buyers coming in here, you have the reaccumulation, but then you have supply coming in and supply taking out recent demand. And then from there, you see them coming in here for the reaccumulation, potentially to mitigate out of distribution before making a new low. So to me, there's so much speculation, and there's so many, I mean, it's a guess game, you know, give me a quarter, let's flip the quarter, heads buys, tail sells. And you know, that's kind of how I would play this. You know, obviously looking at the chart, where do I want to buy from? I want to buy from here. Where do I want to sell from? I want to sell from here. All right. So that kind of narrows down what I want to do with it. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely see that happening. So, and it does look, I mean, you could see the distribution. You could see the shakeout, you know, you could see potentially this, but I'll tell you this, I probably would see, before we do come into this distribution, I would see it break and then come back down and mitigate before going higher, just from a market cycle perspective. Yeah. But that's kind of what I see going with it. All right. Anyway, going back to GN and GA, you know, like GN, leveraging GN to try to trade GA on the comparable strength of it. Yeah. I mean, you could see, you know, we've confirmed it. Price came back into 50% of the Frankfurt move, makes a new high, comes back into the 80% of the accumulation. I don't know if you guys can see the 1, 2, 3, 4 drives right there. We come back into 80% of the accumulation. Again, all of this happening during just the crappiest time of the market, you know, during changeover. And then from there, I wanted to see price come back into this area, and this stupid thing this morning comes right in here. So, you know, we do have a small accumulation. I know my alert went off this morning, or I know my alert went off earlier, and you could see just the accumulation. And now, you know, welcome to the end of New York into this Asian price action where we're just going to go sideways and hopefully just reaccumulate, you know, so continuation moves on GA and GN is what I'm looking at. Right. GJ, you know, I was really hoping to get this right down here. That's what I wanted to play out of. GJ has not been very cooperative with me, but you can see where we're at, right? Don't lose focus of where we are. This is the order flow leg that causes that low, right? So ideally, breaking this high and a play back into this is still very much likely to then go higher, right? And then don't forget where we are in the intraday time frame, right? We are just mad bullish, and we still have not broken this high right here, right? So we have our accumulation, we have multiple reaccumulations, and then, you know, realistically, what I'm looking for this to happen is just another reaccumulation. So where we do have, you know, potentially the distribution in play, you know, one more push down, maybe into the area I want to buy from. But then when we get this break, right, and confirm the reaccumulation, I'm going to play out of whatever that shakeout is going to be. All righty. So that's when I'm going to play with that. You know, GU, much like EU, you know, I was looking for a sell out of here. You know, it gave a distribution. It just never really gave any breaks of order flow. So there was nothing for me to play further out of. And just like AU and NU, I'm going to be waiting up here. All righty. I'll be waiting up here. What would you look at first? Accumulation area gets, wait, what would you look at if your first accumulation gets invalidated? Is that what you're talking about? On which pair? On GJ? So yeah, if realistically, if this area gets invalidated, I'm coming down into this. It's the same exact thing as this, just on a higher time frame. And then if this gets invalidated here, right? If this gets invalidated here, then just keep in mind where we're at, right? We're within the leg. So this accumulation breaks order flow, but we're still stuck right here. So any evidence of buying, GJ is bullish, right? So any evidence of demand coming into the market is all I need, whether it happens in an order flow sense. So hypothetically, what I'd be looking at is coming back into this, but let's just say we trade below here and we do something here, right? I don't need to be the first one of the party. So we get the accumulation, right? If price then reaccumulates, I'm going to play the order flow because now order flow has changed, and I'll just keep playing the reaccumulations on GJ. All right. Yeah. Yep. So we talked about AU, NU, same thing, right? Looking ideally for price to come, and you can see we're at a discount, right? I mean, structure is being maintained like from way up here. So what I'm personally going to be looking for is continuation move. We have an accumulation. You could see distro, redistro, speculation that this is probably going to be another redistro to do this to confirm overall a bigger time frame redistro. And if that's the case, I'll be looking to play out of the supply points that caused that redistribution break. All right. And if that happens, great. I'll be looking for the shorts. Again, I'm not so fixated on US dollar crosses yet. I'm going to wait to see what the dollar does. Can we look at NAS? Yeah, we'll look at NAS. And then the last ones that I'm definitely looking at, UCAD, I was looking for a potential buy out of this, gave absolutely nothing, right? Gave a little bit of an accumulation, but really nothing out of it. And I really, I think, what was I looking at this morning? So you could see here what I wanted to see. I wanted the boof, right? I wanted to see the break. No boof, no trade. So I guess I'll delete that, and I'll delete this because it all decided to be a redistribution. So now on UCAD, I mean, essentially what I'm waiting on is, waiting on this, waiting on price to trade on down and come into our intraday structure. All right. This is specifically what I'm waiting on. So I've got a ways to go. It's about 110 pips to get down there. So UCAD's just going to sit there and wait. US dollar Swiss franc, another one that you can see we've just been creating higher highs and higher lows on the order flow. Price unfortunately never came to my limit order. So now what I'm going to be doing is any return to order flow, I'm going to be playing. We get an accumulation in this low that creates that high. Anywhere in here, I'm going to be looking for an accumulation to take it higher. All right. And then lastly is UJ, right? So what I wanted to see on UJ, you can see, what do I got right here? So I wanted to see an accumulation in this push, right? And we did get something, right? We got a little bit of an accumulation of type 2. We got the type 2 that broke. We have the London, right? We have the London and Frankfurt sweep of Asian. And what I wanted to see was price somewhere in here give me an accumulation. So for tonight, what I'm going to be looking for is, we could potentially have the start of an accumulation, and I'd like to see the entry come in something like that, right? Break, and then the mitigation. But I want this to happen during Frankfurt or London. I don't want it to happen during Asian. All right. So, something along the lines of what we got here, exactly here to tap into the mitigation of Frankfurt, and then just the break or a boof and play the mitigation of it. So that's what I'll be looking for on UJ. All right. Okay. So to round out the evening, let's jump on equities. And we'll start with NAS, right? We'll start with NAS. What the heck did this thing do today? Let's see. I saw it rallied. I know. So give me a sec. I saw a lot of info came out of tech. You could see Google up 1%. Man, Halliburton's up 5%. What did AMD do? AMD, no, where's AMD? There it goes. AMD's up 4%. Yeah, so we saw, this is why NASDAQ rallied so much, man. We saw some, look at that beautiful accumulation in there. We saw some of the big tech companies. NVIDIA came into, where's NVIDIA? NVIDIA came up. Yeah, so we've seen some significant movements. All of it is pretty much mimicking exactly what NASDAQ did. All right, so yeah, it's all mimicking. All right, so tech rallied today. Let's see. Did it give? It didn't give anything for a buy, did it? No. Yeah, I mean, we're stuck. Just look at what NASDAQ is, right? When you look at the chart, let me see. Do I have a better view? Do I have a better view? No. Let's see. What about NQ? Is it on futures? All right. Well, futures is empty. All right. So when we look at this chart, right, we're bullish on NASDAQ, right? We're bullish in this leg. All right, we're bullish in this leg, but you could see order flow is bearish, right? And we've been distributing. So you could see that supply is definitely doing something around here. So when I look at this, where do I want to buy from? Well, I mean, I want to buy from here. And if I want to sell, I want to sell from supply. So realistically, we're just stuck in the middle between where I would be looking for buys and where I'd be looking for sells. Obviously, if NASDAQ trades up into this area and gives a distribution, it is very, very counter trend. But it's going with the current order flow. And of course, if we redistribute, then, small risk out of the redistribution continuation moves is what I'm going to be looking at. Yeah. What does that line up? Let me see what it lines up with SPX. Yeah. So you could see, I mean, SPX, same thing. We're being maintained from this, right? Did we come in to an area of demand? We did. Unfortunately, there was no flipping buy for me. I mean, you can see what happened in here. Absolutely nothing. This morning, did it give an entry? I don't think it did give an entry, right? No, it didn't give a distribution. Yeah. So this morning I was looking for a potential sell out of here, right? I wanted to see a distribution in this move. Yeah, man, have a good one. It just never gave anything. I mean, there's no clean distribution there. Let me just see this. Yeah. So, I mean, realistically, we're bullish, right? We're bullish on this. And what I would be looking for tomorrow, especially if the news that came out from the Fed today was actually pretty positive, I'd be looking for mitigation is something in here, right? Especially if we break out of this high, right? So if Asian session takes us up here, maybe get a pullback during London, I'd be looking for a buy out of this area, actually. So what do we have? We have a reaccumulation, right? Confirmed reaccumulation. And something in here is actually what I would be playing. Oh, wow. Look at that, man. What time is this at? 9:50. Man, this is when I was at the doctor's too, man. Son of a flipping gun. So what do? We come into supply, or I'm sorry, coming into demand. And look at that type 1 schematic right here at market open. So we have a type 1. Did anyone catch this? Damn, did anyone catch that? Here's your spring. Here's your break. Damn. Why do I use the 80%? I don't know. I don't know why I use the 80%. Damn, that was it. That was it. And then, so did anybody catch this? Anybody catch the micro? Because you got this one here. So you've got the micro. Hold on. And then you got a super micro in there. So you got that. And then you got this one. On the money, man. On the money. What would this have been? What? Always when I'm at the flipping doctor, man. Always. What, bro? 6.6 point, not even a point, 6 pipettes, man. Where did this thing go up to? 47.15. What would this been? 47.15. A 1 to 122. That's what it would have been. You've been at a 1 to 122, and you could have taken, what would have this been? So you'd be at a 1 to 21 and a 1 to 122. Yeah. All right. So I'd be looking, what do we get? Do we come back? Let me just see. Do we come back? No, we don't come back. All right. Yeah. So this is the area I'm waiting. I'd want to see just like we did in New York price action. You know, I always talk about the first hour and a half. So this is 10 minutes after market open. This is about an hour and 20 minutes. So, I mean, this is that hour, you know, actually here, hold on. I got it on my stupid, no, where is it? I thought I had it. Oh wait, no, I put it on here. There we go. There you go. That's my equities open into my first hour and a half. So that's the money time for me. And it gave two really good entries. Unfortunately, I just wasn't on the charts for it. Man, that sucks. That was money. That was money. Damn. That's a shame. That is a shame. That was all right. Well, it is what it is. So that's ideally that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for a mitigation, essentially in this area, right? So this move needs to be mitigated. So something in this price point. So like between 46.50 and like 46.40, like that 10 point range. That's what I'm going to be looking on SPX. And let's pop over here to US 30. I'm going to kick myself if the same price action happened. Oh, yeah, look at that. So just looking at it, and I don't think it was as clean as SPX, but it's still there, right? Still there. You have, night, bud. So super clean type one. Did anybody catch this? Damn. Last time I'm going to the flipping doctor, man. So here's your spring. So we come in at 50% after breaking, right? I know it's kind of hard to see it, but this wick actually trades above it. We come in at 50%. It looks like we come into this mitigation here, or into this manipulation here. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't have taken this trade just because the stop loss would have been massive. I'm not taking a 50%. That is 56 points. But what we do is we then come back into, so this is your test, right? We come back into the test, and what do we do? Same thing, right? Same thing. We accumulate here, we come right into it, really clean price action, and off it goes. So yeah, I'll be looking for some buys coming back into that price action. Yeah, coming back into that price action, I'll be looking for some buys. You know, potentially something along the lines of like right in here. So, you know, something in here is where I'm going to be looking. You know, see if we can get down in there and play the, you know, play that mitigation play. Yeah. Are we bearish on order flow on what, US 30? Not anymore. Yeah, not anymore. I mean, in reality, we never were, right? I mean, here's your 15-minute chart. We're being maintained from down here, right? That's your true order flow. Like this is just your pullback, and now we've made that, so technically order flow is bullish. What's that? Yeah, but this is nothing. This is what is this? This is your distribution, right? That's your distribution. Order flow is being maintained here. Yeah, we're bullish order flow, and we're back bullish order flow even from a lower time frame on this, right? So remember, order flow and structure are a little different. Yeah. Now this is, yeah, I'm looking for buys on this now. I mean, I was looking for buys anyway. I just wanted to buy, right? I wanted to buy from here, and it honestly doesn't look like we're going to get that anytime soon. In order for me to get back into sells on this, we need to, potentially maybe if we come here and distribute, I'll take a look at it, but I really want to see break some order flow. Yeah. You caught that buy. Awesome, man. You held it to 46.98. Oh, okay. You just took it to the high. Yeah. Good. Yeah, man. That was a nice little play. Did you take it out of the 5 second or you took it out of the other one? Awesome, man. Have a good one. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, just here you go, man. Just look, that's, hold on. That's what you're trying to sell. I mean, that's for me, anytime I sell indices, it's always just a small risk, like I'm not putting a big order on the sells. For me, it's just not worth it. Yeah. I mean, I guess I can delete some of these old alerts. I don't see us coming, anytime soon. So yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much everything I got. Hopefully these 2.5 hours have been decent. Real quick on the crypto side. I mean, yeah, in a nutshell, I'm looking Ethereum, and we'll see what Ethereum does right here. It looks like it's building some accumulation, right? I'm personally not, I mean, I'm mining Ethereum, so I'm making Ethereum every week. But I'm not going to be purchasing any more Ethereum until at least we get down to 2000. And then same thing goes with BTC, but some of these altcoins, Chainlink, right? Chainlink, you could see is respecting the buy area. We're seeing, I actually took another buy out of here, got some more Chainlink. Matic has been doing really nice too. Where's Matic? Yeah, Matic's been just, Matic's made an all-time high, in this mess. So, and I've talked about it. If you're not staking your Matic, if you own Matic, definitely check out QuickSwap. You could stake your Ethereum if you don't own 32 Ethereum. You could stake Ethereum on there with your Matic. You could stake it in some of the other altcoins like Polkadot with it. You could stake stable coins like US Dollar Coin or US Tether. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some decent plays out there. What is Ravencoin? I'm surprised about Ravencoin. We had the halving happen today. So I was waiting for this, man. And I'm going to be pissed if this thing just goes like that and doesn't, I mean, I'm mine Ravencoin, so I'm pretty good on the coin accumulation that I have, but man, I wanted to get into a little more here. So yeah, I'm waiting. I think we're depending on what Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin's going to lead the way, and if Bitcoin can give us a nice little push to the upside, I think everything else will follow. But I'm still very bullish on this. And I don't put 32,000 is not out of character for Bitcoin to come down to. Yeah, even Aave. Look at this. I had this stupid limit right here, man, sitting here, and I'm going to be pissed if it doesn't come back and pick up some more orders on it. All right. Well, listen, any other questions? If not, I've got some dinner to eat and I've got to figure out what's going on with one of my mining rigs. I changed the algorithm on it, and I just got to, I got to get it back up because it's no longer mining Ravencoin for now. So yeah, it is a late dinner. It is. So Awesome. Well, listen, guys, enjoy. I will catch everybody later. If you have any questions, hit me up in the Discord. Have a good one and enjoy.